Tonight on News 5 Live, unions poised to respond to GOB's proposed salary cuts. The Indian government assists Belize with COVID-19 vaccines, and Belmopan residents stunned as a vendor is killed in the heart of their city. These stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
That's the sound of fuel efficiency. Every day, every time, I choose Una Fuels powered with Dynamax. Una, a brand committed with the future.
She's just a girl and she's on fire. Hotter than a fantasy, lonely like a highway. She's living in a world and it's on fire. Feeling the catastrophe, but she knows she could fly away. Oh, she got both feet on the ground and she's burning it down. Oh, she got her head in the clouds and she's not backing down. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire.
Less than 3 decades ago, the idea of sending and receiving money using mobile devices seemed odd, as everyone enjoyed the convenience of cash payments for everything they needed. Fast forward to today, this is turning out to be the norm. Phil uses eCash throughout his day, as it fills many gaps left open when transacting with cash. He chooses eCash for many of the benefits it provides: convenience and flexibility. There is no need for bank accounts or standing in lengthy lines when paying bills. eCash is used to make instant payments right from your mobile device, managing personal finances. Instead of noting expenses on paper, eCash allows users to check their account balance and transactions directly in the app. Increases access points to cash in and cash out money. There is no need to worry if a bank or ATM is in the area. Users simply visit one of many retail operators to add or withdraw funds from their eCash wallet. Ability to transact, pay back friends and family. Thanks to the person-to-person capabilities of eCash, users can pay back or split bill with friends and family or co-workers. These transactions are completed in just one step and are immediate. More payment options. Users are able to transact in-store or online via social media channels without carrying bulky cash or cards everywhere. Payments are now direct and always instant. Take advantage of loyalty programs, special offers, and coupons. eCash gives users immediate access to find the best deals and receive rewards from their favorite merchants. Users can make purchases without leaving their mobile devices, as the payment needs of businesses and their customers continue to evolve in Belize. eCash will no doubt play an important role in providing alternative payment options in the financial space. Next time, Ashanti will be telling us all about her experience with eCash. eCash, powered by Belize Bank, will make payments faster, easier, and a whole lot safer.
My name is Mirna and I am 38 years old. I am married and I have a 9-year-old daughter. I do everything that you do, it's just in a different way. I work here at the 501 Hub, it's a restaurant. My job mainly is to answer the phone, to make reservations. The challenges that I usually meet every day are numberless, but the one that I face mostly are transportation. Like if I'm in the bus, my husband is holding me already, and there's someone sitting right there. And then we will say, "Miss, can I please have the seat?" And she said, "No, you need to find another seat. I am sitting here." "But miss, you have space." That's my bag there. I have experiences like that. That, to me, is real discrimination. People need to understand that we have the same rights as them. My philosophy in life is that you treat and you do to others the way you want people to do to you or to your children or family.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, March 9th. I am Marlene Cuellar. No to any proposed salary cut. That was the firmly held position of the Belize National Teachers Union when the Barrow administration initially toyed with the idea of docking the wages of public officers in 2020 with the advent of the COVID pandemic. It is also the stance being taken against the Briceño administration, following a round of consultations with the joint union's negotiating team, during which a similar proposal was recently made by the Ministry of Finance. As we reported on Friday, government has put forward a proposal for a 10% reduction in the salaries of public officers, including teachers, for a period of 3 years. GOB is also seeking to freeze all increments and benefits during the same length of time. That recommendation has prompted a series of meetings within the membership of the Public Service Union, the Association of Public Service Senior Managers, and the Belize National Teachers Union over the weekend. The proposal, submitted to the unions in writing, comes amid the preparation of government's 2021 budget presentation. This morning, following a meeting of the Upper House, Senator Elena Smith, national president of BNTU, weighed in on the union's position.
While I cannot get into any details as yet in terms of what it is that we would be willing to accept and would be willing to negotiate, we know from initial response from our teachers that they are definitely not at this point in time, and I'm not sure if they will ever be, in favor of any salary cuts. As teachers, you know, we fall under a different way of working because compared to the public officers, the regular public officers. And so you would know that teachers have to provide almost everything for the classroom out of pockets. And so that is a huge concern, because if my salary is being cut by whatever percent that is, 8, 5, 7, 10, whatever it is, it would mean that as a teacher I would have less to put into my classroom to be able to teach my students. And so we have to look at all of those things. Recall that the persons paid by government does not only include teachers and public officers. You know, we have other groups, BDF, police, you know, all of those who are also paid by government, and those persons would be affected. Now, how much of those persons who are paid by government could really and truly afford a cut, whatever that amount is going to be, and what would be the ripple effect of that?
Just before heading into even more meetings with her union members today, Chief Magistrate Sharon Fraser, president of the Association of Public Service Senior Managers, spoke with News 5. She says during last week's meeting with Financial Secretary Joe Waite and Deputy Prime Minister Cordell Hyde, the joint unions suggested in their counter that salary reductions be staggered. For his part, PSU President Gerald Henry also pointed to government's top-heavy management.
It was more of us sharing additional things that the government could do before the consideration of salary cut or the freezing of increments. And thereafter, it was if that, it leads to that, that is after all the consideration of everything else, then the issue was looking at how government could assist in lessening the burden if you are going to take away salaries from public officers. I will tell you that one of the things that was put forward by both PSU and APSSM was, rather than a 10% cross the top, that in fact maybe a staggered approach could be considered if it is we reach there, because we're not yet conceding to any of that. What would be the ultimate results would be after consultation and hopefully after some more discussion with the representatives of government, and ultimately what would come out of Ministry of Finance.
We had our membership meeting on Saturday, and we got our numbers were high, not as high as we would have wanted it to be, considering the topic that was being discussed. But nonetheless, we went ahead and we encouraged those who are participating to be at the next meeting, which is scheduled for a bit later on today, no? But one of the things that, of course, we were also looking at is the fact that, as Sister Fraser mentioned a while ago, you know, the issue of the top-heavy members of government, no, representatives, cabinet, and so on. And I recall a few years ago when ministers used to hold, you know, up to four different portfolios, right? And now we look at today where we have, for example, you know, Ministry of Health is only health and wellness, and that's it.
Another shipment of COVID-19 vaccines was met with much fanfare on Monday afternoon by the government of Belize. A delivery of 25,000 doses of AstraZeneca shots arrived via a United Airlines flight at the PGIA, where it was met by the Minister of Health and Wellness, officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and representatives of the Indian government. The donation is part of a planned rollout by the Briceño administration to inoculate all frontline workers as well as persons who fall within certain vulnerable populations. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
The ceremonial blessing of a significant batch of vaccines from India marks the second donation of AstraZeneca doses to arrive at the Philip Goldson International Airport within the last 2 weeks. The fight against COVID-19 sees an additional 25,000 shots being made available to various populations, including the elderly.
Mondays is usually the beginning of a school week and the beginning of a work week. Well, today I call it Magical Monday or Memorable Monday, as it is the beginning for us to see the light the end of this pandemic tunnel. On behalf of the government and people of India, Minister, kindly accept these vaccines as a token of our great friendship between our countries. Although it may have tens of thousands of miles apart on the physical distance, our relationship is cemented and will continue to grow.
On March 8th, the shipment that landed at the PGIA was met by a delegation of government officials. The acquisition of the vaccines was made possible through the Office of the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, along with the Indian Foreign Minister and the High Commissioner of India.
It's a very significant event because it shows not only that India is a great friend of Belize, but a true leader in global health. India has already been assisting some countries in the Caribbean, and the 25,000 doses that we're receiving today will mean that more persons in the health personnel, the vulnerable as well as the elderly, will now be able to benefit significantly from the vaccine. As you know, we have been anxiously awaiting for this moment because we need to reopen our economy.
Upon its arrival in Belize a year ago, COVID-19 brought with it a mounting death toll. As many as 315 persons have lost their lives to the dreaded coronavirus.
As we are all aware, this pandemic last year took the entire world at ransom. And we may have lost many loved ones, dear ones to us, including a colleague of the minister a few months ago, including 2 doctors who are very dear and near to us. May they all rest in peace.
On hand to receive the donation was Minister of Health and Wellness, Michel Chabat. According to him, all healthcare workers on the front line will be inoculated before the vaccine is administered to other vulnerable groups.
It is a 2-dose vaccination. We got 1,000 donations from Barbados, and with this 25, it gives us 26. And so we're going to be giving 26,000 of our citizens an initial dose. And when we get our supply from COVAX, they're going to be getting their second dose. But this will certainly allow us to vaccinate all of our healthcare workers, both in the private and the public sector, as well as all of our citizens who are 60 years old and above and who have certain conditions such as HIV, cancer, or renal failure at this time.
The availability of the AstraZeneca vaccine, despite its bumpy origin, does not solve the issues relating to the spread of COVID-19. Chabat was sure to point that out, along with a significant reduction in active cases.
Please note that this vaccine is not a quick fix solution, but it will play a central role in saving lives, in containing the pandemic, in protecting our healthcare system, and in helping to restore our economy. It will provide our Belizean citizens with a sense of hope and predictability in their lives. Please allow me to remind and highlight that in the last month we have been active on all fronts. The government of Belize, along with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, have pulled out all the stops to fight the pandemic and its economic fallout. Our team has managed to reduce the daily positive rates from that of 50.3% in December 2020 to 1.63%. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a difference of 48.67%.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
With additional vaccines arriving from India on Monday, the rollout begins for non-medical personnel. The Ministry of Health is circulating a flyer with numbers you can call to register for your vaccination when your phase becomes available. In case you missed it last week, here's the order of priority for vaccinations. For phase 1, in addition to healthcare workers, Belizeans over the age of 60 and people with conditions like cancer, HIV, or those needing dialysis will be vaccinated first. Phase 2 will include teachers and police officers, members of the National Assembly, judiciary, customs, and immigration. The tourism sector will also be included in phase 2. Phase 3 will be for BDF, Coast Guard, and the National Fire Service. It also includes people with comorbidities, Red Cross personnel, and all utility workers and bank employees. Phase 4 is for all public officers not covered by any of the previous phases and transportation workers, both public and private. The last phase is for younger and middle-aged people also not covered by other phases from ages 18 to 59. What started out as a usual day of business at the Belmopan Market Plaza culminated in a murder in front of hundreds of shoppers and vendors right before the noon hour. News 5's Andrea Polanco reports.
A killer brazenly walked onto the Belmopan Market Plaza grounds and fired multiple shots, killing Reginaldo Ruiz and injuring Kelvin Tillett. Ruiz was a fish vendor and was at his stall when his life was cut short. Ruiz's employee, who wished to appear off camera, says a bullet narrowly missed him.
Today was one of the horrible days I've ever experienced in my life, because then while we proceed with business, people, kids, everybody around, some I see a land come around for, and shoot my boss from backhand. I try to save my life. I feel the first bullet when it missed me and the next person ball from behind me, so I was lucky. I watch my boss man there bleed with these thousands of people, nobody come around. I still have to be the one to just pick up a head and try cover the wound that it be bleed less. I don't know what may happen with this gun, man, but the point is that I may walk right, go do my business in front of my table, and from behind me it come. I felt the bullet. Up to now I still tremble because I don't know what happened, man. I don't me get a shot.
Ruiz was shot in the neck. His employee says that he's not sure why he was killed. They've been selling at the Belmopan Market Plaza since it opened last year, but today is their first Tuesday conducting business there, as they'd normally sell on Fridays. Rodney Nunes is also a fish vendor at the market. He says that while he heard the shots ring out, he didn't see what happened, but he spotted a man believed to be the killer running away from the scene.
I hear the shots there. I hear bow, 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 bow. And he gets shot, and my homeboy gets shot from the other side, Check it out. So they sell the grunt for the front and the jack for the back. The barrel for the arrow, but when the barrel come, then I hear the bow, 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 and they come by a barrel. We come out today this morning, and this tragedy happened right here. And our partner of mine, and he get to me that they come all the way over here to take the man's life in front of a lot of people. I don't see much, because then I had to take care of my business over here. I don't see much, but when the young man run after he shoot the man, he gone over the drain there and got my social security and take off, no?
Nunes says that police response to the deadly shooting was delayed, although the Belmopan police headquarters is just a stone's throw away across the street.
Belmopan not safe, because then the police station they're right there and then take whole half an hour to get there. We're supposed to get security here. I feel like we they need to do the fence up this place, because when we back turn here, we don't know what could happen, And they are the kind of thing, safety is the most important thing,
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
The former manager of Belize Border Management Agency was killed over a week ago, but police say they haven't been able to charge anyone for the crime of murder. As we had reported, they had detained a woman who was with Rosado the night he was killed. But today, ACP Joseph Maivet tells News 5 that the woman and the other persons questioned have all been released.
Several persons have been taken into custody during the course of the investigation, but were later released pending further investigation into the matter.
Sir, the young woman from Kamalote, was she able to share any information with the police that's helping the investigation?
No, she didn't.
Is it believed that she is a part of that murder that happened, sir? Is she a suspect?
What I will say is that she was brought into custody and interviewed in respect to the investigation, and also was later released along with several other persons.
Are police any closer to identifying why Gonzalo was killed?
At this point, no.
Coming up, a different role for the central bank as an amendment passes in the Senate, and drug plane landings in the north and south, where they touch down when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him." Dr. G. Campbell Morgan tells the story of a man whose shop had been burned in the Great Chicago Fire. He arrived at the ruins the next morning carrying a table. He set it up amid the charred debris, and above it placed this optimistic sign: "Everything lost except wife and children and hope. Business will be resumed as usual tomorrow morning." This man realized that success does not come easy, and that sometimes it comes with tears and disappointments and determination and plain hard work. The Bible says lazy people won't get much out of life, but those who work hard will prosper. Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points how the strong man stumbled or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." So remember, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Unlike the other guys, Digi doesn't throttle customers down to 3G.
Which is why anyone would be a fool not to invest. So, do we have a deal? Hello? Hello?
Instead, Digi offers more LTE speeds in all mobile phone plans.
You, sir, are brilliant. Thank you for doing business with us.
Plus, the most affordable prepaid mobile data plan starting as low as $1.
You've worked hard your whole life building your future, your family, your business, your home. And when you aren't around to safeguard your most beloved assets, you are at ease because you know they are protected by RF&G Insurance. For over 50 years, RF&G has been making sure business owners get back to work after an accident, and families get back into their homes quickly after a natural disaster. At RF&G, it's you who matters most. Visit us today and learn why it pays to get it right. RF&G Insurance, a Rowe Group company.
What if the profits of your bank were shared equally with you instead of with unknown shareholders and large corporations? What if those profits remained in Belize to enrich the communities where we live? What if just having an account with your bank meant that you were now a part owner of that bank? What if your voice mattered and you had a say in how your bank is being run? What if your bank was always looking out for your best interests and its biggest goal was to see you succeed? That's what it means to be part of a credit union where all of our members are in this together. Communities work best when they work for each other. Cooperation strengthens us all. Discover the credit union difference and find out just how stronger we can be together.
Both men and women are almost equally infected by the virus that causes COVID-19. However, men seem to have a higher risk of severe infection and of dying from this disease. Research is showing that men are at a higher risk of dying from COVID-19 because men are still socializing and visiting friends. Men do not frequently wash hands with soap and water. A few men do not believe the situation is that serious. Men delay visiting a doctor even when they start to have symptoms like fever, dry cough, and tiredness. Men think wearing a face mask makes them look weak or uncool. And men tend to misuse alcohol, which has a negative effect on the immune and respiratory systems. Let's protect ourselves so that we can protect our families and loved ones. Use a face mask that covers nose, mouth, and chin. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 40 seconds or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Practice physical distancing of at least 6 feet. Support men's health and help keep Belize safe. A message from the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, the European Union, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The amendment to the 2011 Central Bank Act passed in the Senate this morning after its second reading. Viewers will recall that last month the Central Bank of Belize appointed a new chairman to head the board of directors, the returning former governor Sidney Campbell. Just days later, on March 1st, the amendment to the Central Bank Act went before the Senate for its first reading. According to Prime Minister John Brisenia, the amendment will allow access to $50 million for the productive sector, namely tourism, as a key generator of foreign currency. Today, the senator for the United Democratic Party, Michael Parafit, criticized the bill for being short on the details he says are needed to explain the changing role of central bank.
And if they take an active role in the economy, exactly what is that role? And you're talking about different institutions, companies who are a part of a program. Well, how are you affected by the central bank if you choose not to belong to that program, for example? And what if I'm a part of that program and the central bank facilitates one of the companies with foreign exchange that one of those outside of the program doesn't have access to? Then how does that person who has been left out has any confidence that the central bank would not be showing any preferential treatment over one another?
According to Senator Eamon Courtney, who represents both the People's United Party and government business, any programs created would be for limited duration, with permission from the Minister of Finance. According to Courtney, Clause 66 is not designed to assist any particular business or entity. Like Prime Minister Brisenia, Senator Courtney stressed the purpose of the bill is to provide liquidity to the system, not to aid a failing financial company.
What you have is money sitting in banks doing nothing. Sitting in banks. Senator Smith said 424 million in domestic banks, 247 million in credit unions. Madam President, tens of thousands of Belizeans are unemployed, thousands of businesses have failed, thousands more are on the edge, and we say that we are currently facing an urgent, unique, unusual, exigent financial and economic circumstances, and we have to have instruments designed by the central bank, promulgated and made public so that access can be had to some of those funds in managed and regulated ways in order to stimulate the economy, to create jobs, and to get Belize bounce back better.
The Central Bank of Belize Amendment Bill passed the Senate today with nine senators voting yes and 3 senators, Michael Parafit, Aldo Salazar, and Sheena Pitts, voting no. There was 1 abstention from Senator Elena Smith. In addition to Chairman Sidney Campbell, who served as governor under the Musa administration between 2003 and 2008, the Central Bank Board of Directors are Sol Espejo Molina, Neri Matas, and Giacomo Sanchez. Financial Secretary Joseph Wade, Governor Joy Grant, and Deputy Governor Marilyn Gardner Usher are all ex officio members, while Kareem Michael is Deputy Governor alternate. An aircraft reportedly crash-landed near the Blue Creek community in northern Belize just before 4 on Friday afternoon. Police say that while they have been able to determine that the flight originated in Mexico, they've been unable to determine where it was heading. At this time, 2 Mexicans have been arrested and charged for landing an aircraft without permission. Police say that some containers with what is suspected to be aviation fuel were found in the area. Today, ACP Joseph Mivett shared details of what they know about this aircraft and its occupants.
Police were called to an airstrip in the Blue Creek area of the Orange Walk district, where upon their arrival they observed a single-engine red and white plane which had apparently crash-landed on the airstrip. And at that point of the police's arrival, 2 persons were found there, namely Ramon Lopez Perez, a 50-year-old Mexican national, and Humberto Miranda Gonzalez, 39 years, also a Mexican national, was found in the vicinity of the aircraft. They reported that they were experiencing some kind of engine problems, and as a result were forced to land in the area. An investigation was carried out after they were taken into custody, and police have since arrested and charged Ramon Perez for landing an aircraft without the permission of the minister responsible for civil aviation, whilst Humberto Gonzalez was charged for conspiracy to landing an aircraft without the permission of the minister responsible for civil aviation.
So is there any suspicion that perhaps the plane landed for a different reason other than what they're claiming?
It could have been. We are looking into that possibility, as a number of fuel containers, I believe, were found not too far away from the aircraft, where just a little bit of fuel was found in those containers.
Anything illegal found on board the aircraft, sir?
Nothing illegal, I think, other than the fact that the pilot was found with a very small amount of cocaine on his person, 0.7 grams, I believe, and he has also since Friday been arrested and charged for that.
Are you able to share if perhaps all the occupants on board the flight that morning were found on the scene, or were persons able to maybe flee before the police arrived?
No, we haven't been able to establish that. An identification belonging to another person was also found in the aircraft, but that person wasn't found by the police.
Did they share if that person was on board at the time?
No, they didn't.
Are they cooperating with the authorities, sir?
No, they are not cooperating with the authorities.
The individuals found, any background information as to who they are, anything perhaps has come up on the police's radar in terms of maybe connection to illicit activities?
Not as yet, but we are in communication with our Mexican counterparts at this time as a part of the investigation.
A second airplane was discovered in Belize, but this time it was in the south. Cops from Placencia came across the aircraft Saturday afternoon. The small airplane appeared to have crash-landed in the area. ACP Joseph Mivett says that containers with what appears to be aviation fuel were found in the immediate area.
Police were on patrol in the Pine Ridge area on the Placencia Road when they came across a twin-engined black and white Beechcraft airplane that had apparently crash landed in that area. And also found on the scene were a number of empty fuel containers that we suspect contained aviation fuel. The area was searched and no other item was found.
Could these two plane landings be linked? I know this is around the same time you found the planes and same fuel canisters being found.
We were not able to establish that other than to say that the plane in the Placencia area seemed to have been there for a few days based on the surroundings when it was processed by the scenes of crimes.
There's much more news after the break, so stay tuned.
Started getting ready for Easter yet? If not, to get the cash you need to hit the road, take a sip, and kick your feet up for your Easter adventures, apply online at quickstoponline.com or head on over to your nearest Quick Stop branch for the cash you need. As a first-time customer, enjoy your holidays with no payments until April. Offer ends March 31st. So let's get you Easter ready with a no-hassle loan from Quick Stop Personal Finance Center.
Electricity. We use it to power our appliances, charge our devices, and light our home. Let's all practice energy conservation at home and in the workplace. That's unplug chargers when not in use, lights off when not in the room, turn off fans and TVs. You can also look for Energy Star products and change lights to LEDs, which reduce energy cost. Let's all save energy.
The contamination of water we all depend on is a very urgent issue. As Belize's popularity and industries grow, challenges increase. In this episode, we will examine the issue of water pollution in Belize. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually because of human activities. Water bodies include lagoons, rivers, aquifers, and oceans. On the marine side, the discharge of sewage and bilge water from cruise ships and other live-aboard vessels, in combination with unregulated development of coastal areas, has led to the degradation of marine ecosystems such as mangroves and coral reefs. Our inland waters are facing their own challenges. As agricultural development increases, pesticides, fertilizers, and waste products are running off into rivers. Increased river traffic from boat tours and sugar barges adds to the already stressful conditions of the freshwater ecosystems. In addition, companies that collect sewage sometimes dump the waste right into the waterways. Additionally, in densely populated areas like Belize City and Orange Walk, poor sewage designs result in the contamination of groundwater and of water bodies by both sewage and wash water. In many cases, homes and businesses dump their wastewater directly into drains, which leads to rivers and the sea. Wastewater, detergents, and petroleum collect in drains that empty into waterways, such as the New River and the Belize River. This, along with the runoff and discharges from the agricultural and industrial businesses, have been inadequately monitored and enforced. The answers to overcoming water pollution issues are fourfold: improved infrastructure, adequate treatment, increased legislation and monitoring, and of course, changing our habits for the better. While it is urgent that better management on a policy level is needed, there are a few things we can do at home to help. Ensure proper treatment systems are installed for all wastewater at your home and business. Don't dispose of oil from your automobiles or cooking and household detergents down the drain. And lastly, minimize the usage of chemicals and fertilizers and report any dumping into waterways to the Department of the Environment. The government has recognized the threat of inadequate liquid waste management and is working toward goals of reducing and reversing its effects. For more information on what's being done about water pollution and ways you can help, visit our website at doe.gov.bz. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
A teenager was killed in a motorcycle accident on Friday. Police say that the 19-year-old was riding a motorcycle on Queen Victoria Avenue in Orange Walk Town when she was killed. ACP Joseph Maivet tells us more.
Upon arrival, police learned that Manuel Garcia was riding his motorcycle from a north to south direction, and at the time he was accompanied by his girlfriend, one Graza Mendoza, 19 years, who was his passenger. And they were overtaken by a black SUV, which suddenly turned right in front of them, and in order to avoid a collision, Garcia rode onto the sidewalk, losing control, where he fell from the cycle and eventually still crashed into the SUV. And his passenger, Graza Mendoza, was also injured. They were both transported to the Northern Regional Hospital, where Mendoza was later transferred to the Carl Kirchner Memorial Hospital. And on yesterday's date, she succumbed to her injuries received during the traffic accident.
Is there any charges for anyone in that accident?
At this point in time, Garcia was also injured, but he has since been served with notice of intended prosecution, and the driver of the SUV is presently at the Orange Walk police station being interviewed by police officers.
Another woman also tragically died in a road traffic accident. This time it happened on the Hummingbird Highway. The elderly woman was knocked down and killed this morning in the village of Valley Community. Here's what the police know about the crash.
This morning, shortly after 6:45 a.m., police were called to miles 18 on the Stan Creek Valley Road, where upon arrival, they observed the body of Dolores Pana, 67 years, of that area, motionless on the right-hand side of the highway. What police learned is that shortly before that time, one Ernest Arnold was riding his motorcycle from a north to south direction, and he overtook a vehicle which was going in the same direction, and that is when he accidentally knocked down Dolores Pana, who was flung to the right-hand side of the road in a ditch. At this point in time, police are still on the scene, and it is believed that Arnold may have received some injuries, but he will be dealt with by the police as soon as he is through from the hospital in relation to this traffic accident.
Police say that on Sunday, sometime before 8 p.m., David Galindo was heading home when he was shot. Galindo was reportedly recently released on bail in connection with the deadly attack at CK Bar last July that left 2 persons dead.
Police were called to the Galindo's residence area in Santa Elena town, where they learned that David Galindo was walking towards his home sometime just before 7:50 a.m. when he was approached by a dark-complexioned male person who fired several shots in his direction. One of those shots which caught him. As a result, he was transported to the San Ignacio Community Hospital and later to the Western Regional Hospital, where he is now in a stable condition. Police have 2 persons in our custody, and it is expected that later today charges will be preferred against those persons.
A motive for that shooting, sir?
We do believe that it is an ongoing dispute that the Galindos have had since the last 2 years with another group.
Sir, this particular Galindo, was he recently released from some other charge connected to some deadly shooting?
Yes, he was on bail for some other charges for which he was remanded.
Any possible, maybe a retaliation for what has transpired in that incident?
Well, we are looking at that as a part of the investigation.
A Santa Elena man was shot in Belize City on Sunday. Police say that Larry Simon was on Reggae Street when he was targeted. At this time, the authorities are trying to verify if his shooting is connected to another gun-related incident in the West.
This is the KHMH where they found Larry Simon, 27 years, Belizean of Santa Elena town, with a gunshot injury to the body. Initial investigation revealed that he was on Reggae Street when he was approached by a male person who fired 1 shot at him, causing his injury. He's presently at the KHMH in a critical condition.
Sir, do we know why Mr. Simon was targeted?
We do not know at this time. He is not from the city. He came from Santa Elena.
Would the shooting that happened there be connected to his?
Yeah, we are looking at that as there was a shooting also in the Cayo district, which we are trying to connect to that.
When we come back, tempers flare in Port Loyola as residents tangle over land use. Details when we come back.
Preparing for the club, y'all gonna get it up like house. Yeah, the night is going fine. All the ladies on the dime like house. Let's chance and raise it up. No, we cannot get enough like house. Shine on with.
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's Twice as Nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
What a beautiful morning in Popsville. Time to check the crops. Uh-oh, the insects are back. Farmer Ricky plans to double his dosage to get rid of these pests once and for all. Oh no, no more insecticide. Well, off to the store we go. Hey, it's good old Joe.
Good morning, Joe. I'd like to get 4 bottles of Compound V, please. I'm double dosing to fight back the insects.
Compound V, you said? It doesn't sound familiar. Let me see what you have. Ricky, where did you get this product? It doesn't have proper label information and could be filled with highly hazardous chemicals called persistent organic pollutants. You should really get one that's POPs free, which is safer and approved for pest control. Ricky, it's time we talked about the dangers of misusing highly toxic pesticides. Some pesticides contain highly hazardous ingredients that can harm you and your loved ones if handled incorrectly. So when we improperly store pesticides, it can affect our health in the long and short term. To be safe, make sure to remember these following tips to avoid unnecessary chemical exposure. It's important to always read your label fully before using any treatment on your crops. To avoid dangerous contact with pesticides, including airborne insecticides, make sure to wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Apply the recommended chemical dosage and use far away from human contact and from active winds. To avoid cross-contamination, make sure to follow these simple steps to dispose of pesticide containers. And no matter what you do, don't throw it in any old waste bin. Always make sure to triple rinse, puncture, and store separately for proper disposal. And for an even safer approach to pesticide use, consider switching to organic farming and other integrated pest management processes. For more information on how to dispose of hazardous pesticides, contact your local waste management agency or visit stopthepops.com for more details. Sometimes danger lurks where you least expect it. The more you know, the healthier you can grow.
Monday was International Women's Day, but there is actually a full month of activities scheduled. Today, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise hosted a live stream panel discussion under the theme, Women in Agriculture, Overcoming Our Challenges, Inspiring Change. The aim of the discussion was to provide a platform for women to share their experiences, challenges, and opportunities related to their leadership roles in their respective organizations. Panelists included women from the Ministry of Agriculture and partners in development. At the end of the discussion, certificates were issued to all women working with the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise in recognition of their efforts and contribution. International Women's Day was celebrated on Monday under the theme, Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. There was a huge fracas over land in the Port Loyola division of Belize City this morning. 10 families are saying that the land they toiled for about a year now, following a verbal agreement with former area rep Anthony Boots Martinez, is being taken away by current area rep Gilroy Usher Sr. and given to his political cronies. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
From before the COVID, we made a back so too, we clean out, the land done full up and thing, and he made me tweet a back here, and he tell me that he don't want take no land or nothing from we. If we need help, he and I help we. And the Ghana know today it bring this house here to put one of the land there.
Sometime in the last month we start with the sale, but out of our pocket too. So like everything, with it slowly, with the try, my husband they try for his best and hard, we could have something. No, like I say, we poor people will try hard for something, and then, we there behind Mr. Boots for years. And finally, he said, all right, they okay for all right, give us something. And then I have a land, I live it in my brother-in-law yard. And when we get this, we were so happy because my kids deserve it.
The residents have no land documents, even as they are making claim to a number of parcels in the area. Martinez confirmed with News 5 that thousands of dollars have been invested into filling up the area, while at least 2 structures are under construction, 1 is completed. They have any kind of document to say that, oh, you know what, it's a leased land that they've been
No,
issued?
what exists, the only official paper that exists was the official papers permission to survey for the Ministry of Natural Resources requested from the area representative of the time, Honorable Anthony Boots Martinez. They don't have no official document even to say that they will be getting or get one permission. But I'm saying, naturally, man, we have to deal with what we need to deal with.
Gilroy Usher Sr. says that the residents are claiming rights to government land, for which there is an application process for the acquisition of a parcel.
He did not come around to do the subdivision for this area here. The government changed. And therefore, when the government changed, Mr. Martinez, no, as much as he wants to say the opposite, he no longer has authority over government land because he's not the area representative. Government funds paid to bulldoze this place. Government funds from Farbers Road were used to fill up this area. Government funds were used to pay for the broad survey. All right? So then, all I'm saying is that as the duly elected area representative for Port Loyola, I have the authority now for the distribution of government lands in the area.
At no time was this land filled from the coffers of government. This land was filled by the group named Port Loyola Housing for the Poor. Each one in Latvia cost over $12,000 for fill. You know, you talk about the chopping and some of the people then come and bring sweat equity. I have a document in my bag which gave the permission, the permission came and the lots were allotted by name to people on the lots before.
So what's the next step for those who have already put in place structures?
I'm an understanding person. We will get the place subdivided, and since you have already built a house there, right, I will make arrangement to leave you with that portion. And the same thing with this person here. He already built the foundation there, so I told him I will leave you with it. But in the other instances, the person they need to follow the normal procedure in applying for a piece of land.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The Port Loyola land dispute this morning began when residents noticed that a wooden house was brought to the area to be installed. They put a stop to that and the police were called in. But as we found out, there are issues surrounding the transportation of the house to the area. Jimmy Robinson, who is one of the owners of the structure, says a pending court case against his ex-common-law wife means the house should not have been moved.
Past my ears, first thing I want to how the fence broke down. By the time I passed by, because midnight to take down the house. So I said, what, how? And we both build this together. Thursday, when I did at the spot, Mr. Usher's son did there, and he decided with his own mouth that he signed or co-signed for some money where she come and present it to me for me put towards to make me build this house. And if I know that, if I know that, if I know that, and I allow or accept any kind of funds from there to put towards our house. You understand me? Now, they have a lot of other entities that things will come out. You understand? We are fully abreast of. And now, as this man getting a power out of the blues, she got land down here, my friends they get broke down, and the house they get moved here. Out of the blues. But because they didn't get anything disconnected from BTL properly, they just cut it off of the house, cut the wire off of the house, cut the water off of the house, and drop it, and start wheel it here. This morning I gone through a desperate attempt, and I seized the keys to the truck, and they called police practically chased me on the boulevard around for the keys to that truck there. You understand? Because they know that the only way the property should get moved, that's through an order from the court, when they don't decide what. You understand me? I have my evidence, you have your evidence, make you put that, and then we decide, okay, this is what will happen. But we're just going to pick up us, move something, and put somebody out the door.
Drivers of regular fuel, you might have thought that you escaped recent fuel price hikes, but today the Ministry of Finance caught you too. On Wednesday, the pump price for regular will increase by 25 cents to $10.06 a gallon. Just a few days ago, premium gasoline was raised a whopping 51 cents to $10.40 per gallon. Diesel also shot up by 42 cents to $9.62 per gallon. The Ministry of Finance gives the usual explanation. that these price fluctuations reflect current demand and supply conditions of crude oil in the international petroleum market, but says it will be monitoring the supply in order to, quote, safeguard the pump prices paid by Belizean consumers, unquote. After the break, a Belize City fire near a gas station causes concern. We'll have more on the fire when we return.
Electricity is an essential part of our daily lives. We use lights and household appliances every day. Therefore, we must ensure our homes are wired properly. At Benny's, we have certified wires with the right gauges and insulation. BEL certified meter sockets, authentic GE and Square D panel boxes and breakers, which protect the wires inside your home from being overloaded. When wiring your home, avoid imitation brands which can be very dangerous. Give yourself and your family peace of mind using genuine electrical products available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Start your year with a win with Bellikin and its new promotion, Papa Stopper. Yes, sir. Every time you pop one stopper off our Bellikin, make sure you check under the crown. If you see one bottle shape, you win one free Bellikin. If you see one ball, you win $20. If you see one star, you win $100. And once you see one diamond, you win $1,000. Sure, Bellikin again, you know. Papa Stopper. When you pop a stopper off a Bellikin, check to see if you're a winner. You can collect your free beer or $20 cash prize at the store nearest to you. If you win $100 or $1,000, redeem your prize at the nearest B&B sales center.
Promotion is valid until Saturday, March 27th or while supplies last.
Papa Stopper!
Bellikin, the beer of Belize.
Congratulations to our Bellikin Papa Stopper winners today. Continue popping those stoppers off of Bellikin for a chance to win free beer, $20, $100, or $1,000.
Papa Stopper!
Bellikin, the beer of Belize.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
On Monday, a fire broke dangerously close to a gas station in Belize City. Quick response from firefighters led to the extinguishing of the blaze before it spread to destroy adjacent structures. A father and his son were able to get out in time. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Around 4 o'clock on March 8th, a fire broke on the upper flat of a two-story structure off Cemetery Road in Belize City. It was occupied by Terrace Garnett and his son, who escaped only with the clothes on their backs.
Garnett reported that he was at home when he smelled that something was burning in the living room. He came outside and then saw that the entire house was engulfed in flames.
The scene of the fire was in proximity to a number of structures, including the Uno gas station at the intersection of Cemetery Road and Central American Boulevard. But personnel from the National Fire Service were swift to contain the blaze and prevent its spread to avoid a worst-case scenario.
The upper portion of the building was fully engulfed in flames, and it created quite a fright. The fire department team quickly, and I mean quickly, went into firefighting mode, whereby we observed that if we had been probably 2 minutes more hesitant than normal, it could have been a fiasco. We would have still been fighting the fire up until today. Luckily, we managed to subdue that fire, bring it under control, concentrating the damage to the initial structure that was ablaze.
Investigation suggests that the faulty electrical wiring in the upper flat of the building caused the fire.
We determined that the fire somehow started directly from the room whereby Mr. Garnett started. We narrowed it down to that of an electrical flaw. Seeing that there is no other factor, we've learned that the building is of age. It's over 20-something plus years. The proper electrical maintenance wasn't conducted, and we've had history of that building before. Unfortunately, this is the results whereby the sole tenant of that establishment lost everything.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at News 5 Live. I'm Marlene Cuellar. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.